What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Husband Podcast. I'm your host, Terry Duran. I got both of my co-hosts on the line with me. I got my man, Jay Bob, on the building. What's good, bro?
Not much, man. Looking forward to chopping up another great episode. Fellas, man, my fantasy week was trash. Hopefully y'all's was better, though. But want to quickly...
yeah, man.
Yeah, man, I had to revamp the roster a little bit here. But want to quickly remind you, you can catch us on TikTok as well as subscribe to us on YouTube at Hold Us Podcast. And for those interested in promos and shout outs, shoot us a DM on IG at Hold Us Podcast, as well as email us at holdusapodcast@gmail.com. All right, T.
I also got my man SD in the building. What's up with you?
Nothing, man. I don't even want to do this today. You know what I'm saying? I don't even want to do this today. Terry team beat the stuffing out of my team this weekend in fantasy football.
Facts.
So I'm really
40 piece.
I'm really not even, and he gonna throw the score out there. I'm really not even feeling it today. I want to egg him, but you know what I mean. I'm gonna say that for another time. First, I want to give a shout out to Brother Soul Productions, though, for always keeping the background audio fresh. And I want to remind you all to donate to the Hold a Husband podcast on Cash App and PayPal. All right, T.
I want to remind y'all can catch the audio playback of the podcast every Monday afternoon at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time on thecore94.com. Tonight's episode is titled Blended Roles. We're going to be having a discussion about gender roles and what are fair expectations to have of the opposite sex. I see a lot of conversations online about, work division, bill division, and things of that nature. So I figured we should at least discuss it at length. But y'all know how we do around here, man. We like to discuss stuff that we've seen trending or on our timelines. And this week we got two real interesting videos. This first video is a video of a lady named Ra Ali giving her wisdom on what women should be paying attention to in regards to their men. Let's take a look.
When you meet guys and you find their social media, what I advise you to do is look at who he's following. That is not going to tell you that's not going to give you the answer 100% of the time, but it's going to tell you about 90% of the time. One, it shows you where his mind is at. Mm-hmm. Because we all click on our phones 50 times a day. It's by nature. Our thumbs just hits that Instagram and just opens up. You might not even want to be on it, just close it right back out. But it's something about it that it draws us in. Yeah. So that's what's in front of him. So if you go to who he's following and he has swimsuit models, I'll just use that for lack of better terms, and he's following 30 swimsuit models, remember that's what's being flaunted in front of his vision every time he opens his phone. That's what's enticing him. That's what he's attracted to. That's what's intriguing him. If you see a man that follows artwork and tattoos and travel, and doesn't mean he can't search a bad explorer, but it's not boom in front of his face all day long.
Yeah, that's a super telltale
And then
sign.
if he is following beautiful women, look and see if those women
look like you.
Look like you.
Look like you.
Because will he you? Of course he will.
Yeah.
But does he want you? Probably not.
Now, it's always interesting when you allow women to explain their philosophies and how they try to connect these things together. And you usually get some type of useless information like that, where my read on this is the origin story of an insecure girl's mindset, right? Because only insecure people care what they spouse or who they follow and what they doing and who they look like. Those are the only type of people that actually monitor social media like that. And all of the assumptions that she made based off who a man follows don't indicate nothing about who he is as a man. You know what I'm saying? Whether he's date worthy, whether he's a good father or not. Like, men like attractive women. Duh. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't see any wisdom being passed along. And she didn't even tell women what they're going to be looking for. Like, women in bathing suits, what man doesn't like that?
Exactly. It's just a bunch of pointless babble. That's what I call it, man. It's just a bunch of babble, man. But look at who he follow. If she don't look like you, then you not his type, or he'll just sleep with you. Man, please, with y'all with this nonsense. You know, anytime I listen to women talk about what men do a lot of times or why men do something. It just be a bunch of nonsense. Dudes don't. I mean, who cares who he follows? 9 times out of 10, if it's a bunch of swimsuit models or IG baddies, he ain't never in his life gonna see these chicks in real life or meet them. Thing of the sort. Dude, a lot of dudes will smash a 2 if the opportunity presents itself. But you up here worried about chicks in bathing suits, and then they said he could just search them. If they know you're that insecure, they just won't follow them, and then will just search them and have them in the explore page, and then go on their page and sneak anyway. You cannot police a relationship.
You can't stop it.
Yeah, or cheat proof anything. So if and what woman you know think that a bunch of girls look like her? None. I mean, think about it. Other than maybe skin tone. Maybe they can go off of skin tone and say, man, he follow a bunch of dark skinned chicks and I'm light skinned. And I wonder why that is. Listen, why do you care? Like, who cares? Men are attracted to certain things
all kinds
that we might see in another woman or a few other women, whatever. It don't mean we are any less attracted to you as our woman just because you're not like her. Now, if you built like a bag of laundry, that might be different. Maybe you should get in the gym. I'm just saying. Jay, what you think?
Man, like you said, man, she's just talking a bunch of gobbledygook on there. But I think what she's looking at from a woman's perspective, right? Because women have a type for the most part. They have a type of guy that they like. Men don't really necessarily have a type, but they have a range of what they like. So I think she's looking at it kind of from that perspective. But I mean, listen, men like to look at attractive women. It doesn't really mean anything. He probably just gonna look through, scroll through, he probably like it and go about his business. Is he gonna go slide in that woman's DM? If he's following Bernice Burgos, is he gonna go slide in her DM trying to get? He knows 9 times out of 10 he's probably never gonna see her a day in his life.
Yeah, and women only have an issue with women that they consider to be attractive. You know what I mean? Like whenever you get one of these kind of questions about another woman, they never say it about the ugly chick on his page or in his comments. It's only when the woman is really attractive and viewed as a threat. So what she's talking about is if your man follow a bunch of women that look better than you, you know what I mean? Like that automatically means something. Well, not necessarily, because men that have experience with women place value on a lot of things that women are oblivious to. And so if you're the one that he using his resources on and he's spending his time with, chances are that he cares a lot more about you and your well-being than he does about somebody on his timeline with her thong showing. So the fear and the insecurity about women and attractive women on Instagram is what fuels nonsense like this.
I mean, think about this. It would just be like me saying, "Oh, if you're following Idris Elba or Michael B. Jordan, oh, that's who we really want. You know, I'm not your type." Like, do you see how silly that would sound if one of us said that?
Yeah, but I don't think most dudes. I did a survey on that, and I asked the women, I asked the men, do you go to somebody's followers that you're interested in and go through to see who they following? Way more women. I want to say about 60-70% said yeah. About 30% of the dudes said yeah. Most men ain't doing that. Most men, like, I don't care who she following.
What difference do it make though?
It don't make no difference to us. To a lot of women, they see that as, like that woman said, that's your type. But it don't matter, because we have women that we like and women that we like. Yeah. Those are two different likes. We like, it's women that we like that we'll sleep with, and it's women that we like that we'll be with. A woman that we'll sleep with, typically, like I said earlier, for most men, is not nobody that would fit into this mold that you see in these baddies as. That's why you hear a lot of women say, and he slept with this big old fat girl, and she was ugly, and blah, blah, blah. Because you over here worried about booty models when Rasmussen over here the one sucking them off every other day. Like, it don't matter. Yeah. So you're paying attention to the wrong thing. Like, it don't matter. You can't cheat proof it.
Yeah, and guys know where they are on they hierarchy of men. You know what I mean? Like, guys know they lane when it comes to women. Now, can a guy get somebody outside of his typical chick, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Anybody can get lucky from now and then, but the idea that you are just stalking his social media to see what type of women he likes, to use that, you know, stalker information to fuel assumptions about what he thinks and feels. This is how women go down a rabbit hole of ruining their relationship with a quality dude over something stupid. You know what I mean? Because just because something shows up on a guy's timeline doesn't mean that it impacts his life. Most men upper in the 90 percentile like fat asses and like cute women, especially when they're well dressed and got their hair done and their nails done. Like those, that the reason they do those things is because it gets our attention. Now, obviously that's mostly sexual attention, but hey, it is what it is.
It is what it is. But listen, man, Terry, let me just explain something real quick. I follow a lot of women. I follow a lot of beautiful women. But I don't send them messages. I don't DM them. 99% of the time, I'm just there to window shop. I'm window shopping. I like when I go to the store, like I see things, I look at it and I be like, nah, that ain't my speed, but it's nice. And I go ahead and I keep walking. So a lot of men just like to window shop because it looks nice, and then they just keep walking. No harm, no foul. What he's attracted to has no bearing on you as long as he's attracted to you. That is the only thing that matters. He is helping you with life. He's protecting you. He's providing things when y'all go out. That's what's important. Not who he clicks follow from on social media, unless he's trying to do something with them. And you can't go into a relationship thinking that, hey, because they follow these women, he don't like me or he trying to sleep with them. That's a disaster waiting to happen because you're insecure.
Yeah,
facts.
Steer clear, man.
All right, man, let's keep things rolling, man. This next video is a video where some relationship experts were talking about the importance of a woman's personality. Let's take a look.
The man you actually want is not interested in your money. The man you actually want does not care about that degree. Not that he doesn't care about it, but that's not what he's focused on or worried about. That's not what's going to raise his children.
Exactly. We're taught that our value is in our career and our money as women. And our value, as we teach in our date coaching, is our value is what do you bring after 5? After 5 p.m. when the job is closed and you're just sitting on the couch with him, where's your value then? What conversation do you have? How fun are you? When is he saying, ooh, I can't wait to talk to Coriel. I haven't talked to her for a couple days.
Are you even fun? Do you smile? Are you fun to be around?
Do you enjoy each other's company? Like all of that. All of that.
The common sense that, because we got all these degrees and all these accomplishments, but the lack of common sense when it comes to dating is just like, how come?
It's not so common.
It's not common at all. There's no logic. It's all feelings. I feel like he should just take me as I am. Why would he do that?
He doesn't have to.
It's basic information, man. We've been telling women this for years. And what they explain is the reason why date location does not matter. I've had some memorable conversations with women standing outside a car, sitting on some steps, you know what I'm saying, sitting inside of a car. Like the quality or the things that you can learn about somebody during a one-on-one conversation or experience is really what fuels the whole dating thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, as a man, if you can make it enjoyable for women to enjoy being around you and having conversations with you, you always in the game.
Yeah, man. Society has done a masterful job at keeping people single. You know what I mean? They have done a masterful job at I say really keeping the women single, because now when you look at the studies and all of those things, the most single women out here are the ones that have degrees,
or
the most accomplished.
The career driven women, the women that have degrees divorce the most at 90%. Out of all of the women out here. And now when we come out here and we date, on my live in the past couple of days, I've had 3 or 4 women on my live talking about their degrees. And I've had to keep telling them this. The types of men that you want don't care. And what's happening is society, their friends, social media, everything is pushing them into these degrees and the secular world of working, right?
Yep.
What that does is it warps the woman's mind, or what it does is it takes women away from their feminine essence and the things that they should be focusing on as a woman, and they completely ignore affection. They completely ignore submission, cooperation, agreeableness, peaceful. They ignore those things, and they get more into the more masculine things in order to excel in their careers. They become more dominant. They become more aggressive. They become more overly assertive. All things that men find repulsive in women in most cases. So then when they step out here and they want to date, they can't fall back on the feminine things because they've
they rely on looks.
Right. Yes, so, but that'll only get you so far, because on the flip side of those looks is masculinity. It's not femininity.
Right.
And so what happens is they put their degrees in the forefront. They put their money or career in the forefront, and the material things that I got my own car, I got my own house, and men be like, oh my God, so what? So this here woman saying, what do you do after 5 without work? You know what men want? Men want a soft, feminine, affectionate, submissive woman, because that's your power as a woman. It's not in your degrees and what you do for work, because that typically drives masculinity in women.
Yep. The thing with degrees for a man, it's like, it's like empty calories. It doesn't add any real value. I mean, not to say, hey, having a degree is a bad thing per se, but it's like, it's not a requirement for a man to want to wife you or go or to pursue something longer term. But SD, I want to touch on a point that you said about society keeps women single, and it's not by accident, especially when they get into the workforce. If you think about it, right? They can tax that and everything. So they want, especially after World War II, so they want to keep them in the workforce, and they know women are the biggest consumers. So they understood that years ago.
Double taxes, men and women.
Yeah, and it puts the children in the school system. So yeah, you're right. It is definitely by design. But that masculine energy, me and my wife talk about it. The things that she has to do to be an effective project manager. Or like you said, they masculine energy. She gotta not necessarily confront somebody, but she gotta hold people accountable. Hey, this is the deadline. You're supposed to do this by this date. This is, you know what I'm saying? Like, and a lot of people don't respond well to that. Everybody's not professional. Everybody's not respectable. So that's not the type of energy that you can have with your man, though. You know what I mean? And a lot of women struggle to be able to compartmentalize or turn those things off, because the vibe that can kill a relationship, even though he may be attracted to you, he may not leave you, he may be there for the kids, but it opens the door for a woman that he just enjoys being around, enjoys talking to, actually ask him the kind of questions, or actually cares about what he has going on. A woman that's a career oriented, I'm an alpha woman and all this type of thing, she's not going to really fulfill that need for a man.
T, quick question for you is, like, from your wife's perspective, like, is it hard for her to like discern between like work and home? Like, does she carry like any of what she deals with at work in the house?
I mean, there's I think being a black couple, I think there are just certain things that come with being with a black woman, that it is what it is kind of situation. But no, but I wouldn't say no. We both work at home, so we discuss our workloads and what we got going on a lot. So it doesn't really cross over for us, but the combativeness and her perspective on and frustration that she gets from dealing with them can carry over to our personal life, to where she needs time to decompress. She has to have extra time to take a nap or relax or do things like that to kind of offset the stressfulness. And I mentioned it before, but she works for a company that is foreign based. So she deals with men in other countries that don't really respect women. You know what I'm saying? And stuff like that. So the way and they show that through their emails and how they through the conference calls and you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. So
Mm-hmm.
there are different triggers and things that she has to deal with.
Yeah, man. You know what? When a woman is a career, and this is why I personally don't like dating boss chicks or these alpha women and all this here. It's not for me personally. That's not the type of woman I want to deal with. But the problem is that typically they have this attitude because in order to be that boss woman and all of that stuff and in the career field, you have to adapt those things in order to deal with the people you got to deal with. You have to. And in order to not to lose that femininity, you have to really focus on not losing it. And most women do not, because in our community,
because they know they look good still.
Yeah, but besides the looks, they're raised by a single mom. They're raised by a single mom who didn't a lot of times show that femininity. They were raised to be strong, independent, and by themselves. So where in the world are they going to learn these feminine aspects that men want in women? That's why you got so many women in their 30s saying, what do these men really want? They have no clue what men want. They think men want a woman that's just as successful as them because that's what they want in a man. And we don't. It's okay to have, but we want your attitude to be that soft, feminine, submissive woman that we crave as men, just like women crave a masculine man that's a provider, a protector, and a leader. Women crave that and they want it. And if they don't get it, they won't respect you, or they ain't gonna even be bothered with you. And that's how the men are starting to do those women. They saying, okay, we gonna go over here and get these women. We gonna do this and get these women. Since y'all don't want to give us what we want, you want to give us what you want us to want. We're gonna go somewhere else and get it.
Real quick, just it's worse with a lot of them, like you said, raised by these single mothers. A lot of them tell them, hey, not to need a man for nothing, get everything on, go get that degree, go get that high paying job, whatever it is, up your 5 figures, 6 figures, whatever it is, and they carry that into their adult lives.
You know
and
what?
I mean, and another part of that, though, I was gonna say it warps their perception of dateable men. You know, the women that make $200,000-$300,000 or whatnot, make these very high salaries. They feel they'll only date men that make more than them or are on a higher level than them. And so a lot of them eliminate their dating pool because they're not necessarily the most attractive or desired women outside of their sex and fun. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not a lot of times in the age bracket where men are really trying to start families with them. And as you can see, a lot of their dating experiences don't lead to marriage for various reasons.
Yeah, man, I was having a discussion yesterday with this guy at work just about the whole submissive thing and taking care of a man. And he said, I'm raising my daughter to be the exact opposite of that. I'm raising her to to get her own thing, not depend on no man. I said, man, bro,
he don't want no grandkids.
I said, which one do you think benefits the woman most in the dating market? With what you see out here now, which one benefits her most in the dating market? Her being a strong, independent, I don't need a man type of chick, or a soft, submissive woman that knows how to take care of a man? He said, well, the soft, submissive woman, because men don't really like the boss. I said, so why would you set your daughter up like that?
Thanks.
Why? Well, I don't want her to be dependent on no man, bro. I get it, but it's a way that you do that. You teach her to be a responsible adult. And hey, baby, you're going to have to go to work and get some things for yourself and take care of yourself or whatever. But your wife, because he's married, should be teaching her these here other things in the home. But he has taken over that and like, no, I don't want her to be dependent on no man, bro. Imagine what it's going to be in 20 years, in 15 years from now. It's going to be 10 times worse for them, because they even got studies now that's saying almost half of all women will be single and childless in 10 years.
Wow, that's crazy.
Almost half. Now, most of them women is going to come from our community. We probably not childless. That's different. Yeah. Because like most of
them. I mean, the single parent rate is going to always rise.
Yes,
because
100%.
it's an accidental thing that happens from a fun, free activity. You know what I mean? So that's always going to be the case. But yeah, there are a lot of dads that set their daughters up. You know, I call it princess syndrome, where they make it seem like nothing that God do is good enough for you. My daughter deserves this, and my daughter deserves this, and it's like, bro, that's not. You know, I've seen when I seen Steve Harvey talking about why he spoils Lori Harvey and all that. Like, what is there about a spoiled person that has ever been used as a positive? You know what I mean? Like, since when? Like, the word spoiled in itself means problematic, or there's something wrong with the product, right?
Entitled.
So spoil. Yeah. I mean, so just the concept of it, a spoiled person is going to have a negative or nasty reaction to any level of disappointment or any time that they don't get their way. That is not conducive to any relationship. And so why would you preach that or teach that to your child? That makes no sense to me.
Setting them up for failure.
All right, man. Looks like we are up against the clock. We're about to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to be getting into blended roles, conversation about gender roles, and why it's so important in a relationship. You guys are tuned into the Hold a Husband podcast. We'll be back in a minute. Hi, I'm relationship coach and author Terry Duran, and I am pleased to announce that my book, It's Not That Complicated, is finally available as an audiobook. So if you don't like to read, or you just don't have time to read a paperback book, this audiobook is perfect for you. You can listen to it while you're in your car, while you're at work, etc. In the book, I break down how husband material men think and operate in regards to sex, love, and relationships, and I provide real quality insight on how husband material men approach dating. The audiobook is available on audible.com and on iTunes. All you have to do is go to one of the websites and search for my name, Terry Duran. Go download your copy today. All right, everybody, welcome back to the Hold a Husband podcast. Tonight's episode is titled Blended Roles. We're going to be having a discussion about gender roles and what are some fair expectations to have of the opposite sex. There's always a lot of discussion online about, you know, what should be expected of a man, 50-50 conversations and things of that nature. So I figured we should at least do a discussion about it. So the first thing I guess I wanted to ask y'all and get y'all's opinion, do y'all think that gender roles are outdated in 2024?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because let me explain something. Let me tell you something. No matter what these women say, even if they say that something is outdated, they still gonna want that man to provide for his family financially, protect his family with his life if he has to, and lead that family. Those are gender roles that a man is expected to do. And if he ain't up for the job, women gonna call him sassy, and they ain't gonna want to be bothered with him. So no, gender roles aren't outdated. We have roles and we have places. Just like the woman has a place and a role in that relationship, and that's to be the helpmate to the man in whichever way that the man sees fit for her to help within that relationship. Those are our roles, and that's always going to be the case. It's just that over the past 15 or 10 years or whatever, they have convinced women that they are weak if they fall into their role, but they still want the man to be in his role. Yeah, and the men are like, no, I know that it's a requirement that I do my role, and I want to do my role.
You ain't got no choice.
You can't pretend to want to do my role and not do yours. Like, men ain't going for that. It's a bad deal. It's a bad setup. And it's a horrible return on investment if a woman don't want to play her part within a relationship. So gender roles are not outdated. Jay, what you think?
I say they are to some degree. I agree with your premise of what you said. Like, everything you said was on point. But I want to take this in a different direction. I think with, like what they say with modern women, right? They want, a traditional man gender role, like you said, when it serves them, but then they don't want to offer anything in return. So it's like, you do X, Y, you do all this that a man's supposed to do, while I just show up.
Yeah, that was a crash dummy decision. If you sign up for that, I think I think there are certain core, to allude to what as D said, I think there are core roles that each person should fulfill more of. But I think that in order for today's society, in order to keep a household running, there has to be at least some level of blending. Like even if you're a provider, you're gonna have to do some dishes. You're gonna have to do some laundry. You're gonna have to do something outside of what is traditionally only the man's role. And I don't think most guys have a problem with that, because if you live on your own and you got the type of crib where women are comfortable coming around, you cook, you clean, you keep your crib looking fly already. You know what I mean? Like that's not something impressive. It's something that teenagers can do. And so to me, I think that the willingness to be able to fill whatever role is necessary is the kind of mindset that's needed to make it into to have a successful relationship in today's society.
Yeah, and it's a lot of gender roles, right? It's a lot of roles, within a home, but you also have to be flexible with your roles, with what you do. Like a man, right? Most men can't provide 100%. Most men can't do that. So if you then require your woman to work 40 hours a week so that she can pay half the bills, then you have to, so that she can help you on your side, you have to also help her on hers. When it comes to the cooking, when it comes to the cleaning, when it comes to the taking care of different things like that, you have to be fair in the process. But when we talk about the major things like that, providing and protecting and all that type of stuff, like, most women look to the man for that type of stuff, but you got to be flexible and fair when it comes to the process also. So,
Yeah, it's always funny to me. Like, I mean, I try not to judge or whatnot, but there are just certain roles that I just couldn't do. Like, I can't be no stay at home dad. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't do it. You know what I mean? Like, so I ain't knocking the stay at home dads out there, but that's just not something that I could handle. I take a certain pride in being able to provide things for my family. I like being able to make sure that we got it. You know what I'm saying? We good. Even though my wife makes decent money. So I'm not, too prideful. I'll clean, I'll do whatever I gotta do. Cause my mindset is always, man, this is my house. So if I'm not willing to do something to make this house run, then what the hell would that say about me? You know what I mean?
mhm.
Team reflects leadership.
But it's also like you said, it's some things you won't do. It's some things that I wouldn't want my woman doing in the house. You know what I'm saying? It's certain roles that I don't want my woman. I don't want my woman walking trash out to the street. I don't want my woman outside cutting grass and doing all getting gutters clean and fixed. I don't want my woman doing stuff like that. That's a man's job. And I'm sure women would agree with that. That's a man's job. But if you agree that those are man's jobs, there are gonna be some women's jobs, all right, where you gonna be pretty much doing this, and you can't have a problem with it if you have a list of things that you won't do as a woman. And this here is something that I'm gonna get on too. I'm gonna get them with here in the next coming days, because all of them have jobs like that they wouldn't do from a because it's more a manly thing. But I don't think they have jobs that they consider theirs, most women, that they wouldn't let a man do. I just don't think most women are like that nowadays. But back in the day, especially with older women of other cultures and stuff, they didn't want men in the kitchen. No, get out of my kitchen.
Yep.
Nope, you ain't cooking nothing, you ain't fixing no plate. But nowadays,
yeah, you're right. There is a drastic shift in the expectations of both roles, I would say. And so I guess that leads to the next question. Like, so what are their expectations of the opposite sex? Because like you said, I feel like, I see how much my wife does. So I understand, I only have a daughter. So I think the sex of your children impacts your role or your parents. You know what I'm saying? Like, we had a son, I'd be more involved, and I'd be, like my wife knows more about cheer practice and cheer stuff. She's a former cheerleader. So I'm the financial parent. I support and I show up type stuff. I'll take her to practice every now and then, but with my job I travel, so I can't do as much. But if I had a son, and my wife don't know nothing about no basketball, she ain't finna help him dribble or something. Like, she's not gonna be able to do the manly things to help him become an actual man. It would be the reason that I'm in the household, to teach him those intangibles that can't be taught by a woman. So I think that plays a major factor, and I think it's fair to expect the same sex parent to play more of a role in the parenting.
Of course, because she knows about being a woman, you don't, and you know about being a man, she don't. So yeah, that makes perfect sense. But I think that being fair with your expectations depends on what it is you have to offer, right? So for a man that says, "Hey, look, I can pay everything, baby. I really don't want you working all that much." Well, that type of man is going to expect his woman to have the home clean and food at home for him, right? Whereas a man that's splitting maybe 50-50 and his lady has to work, he'd be unrealistic in that type of scenario. You know what I'm saying? To still expect this woman to come home after a hard day's work, cook, clean, and do all this while he don't help none. Like, so I think it all depends on what you have to offer and what you're willing to do in that relationship, which will determine whether you being fair and reasonable or not.
That's a good point.
That absolutely. Like I said, I think, just having reasonable expectations, like you just said, for example, if you are going 50-50, then, you should share some of the responsibilities. Like you said, like T said earlier, hey, I'm going to go ahead and clean these dishes. Don't worry about it. I know you had a long day at work, or let me help out with some of the cleaning around the house, since you're working all these hours. But like you said, it'd be unrealistic to have her work 40 hours, in certain jobs, depending on what she does for work. Let's just say she's a nurse or something, she's working 48 hours to 60 hours a week. It'd be unrealistic to have her come and do house duties on top of that.
Yeah, I always laugh at the guys that are, they're too manly. They pay the bills, so they don't have to do nothing around the house. Like, to me, that's just a flawed mentality. You know what I mean? Like it, those are the same dudes that, will refuse to change their kid's diaper or something stupid like that, where I can't see my child sitting there crying because they got a shitty diaper, and I'm just gonna sit there and wait for my wife to get there to come do something about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just certain stuff where I can't respect you as a person, that if that's your value system, you know what I mean? Like, so I guess we're obviously people, men and women out there, that are too prideful to actually do the things that it actually takes to raise a family or maintain a household. But I don't think it's realistic for that type of person to ever have dreams of having a healthy marriage or having a long-term relationship.
Nope. You got another thing coming, buddy. You got another, because the more unrealistic you are, the more you lessen your chances of finding the type of person that you want to be with. It's really that simple. You know what I mean? So you have to be realistic to your situation and what you have to offer, or else you are going to be banned to singledom.
Yep.
Guaranteed.
So I wanted to ask y'all, so when we come to these roles that, men and women are traditionally had, do y'all think that was more born out of the realization that we need to work together as a team collectively to survive, or the natural desire or the natural interest in those things in the opposite sex?
Ooh, man, listen to that. I think it's a little bit of both. Because, man, listen, when I'm rocking with a chick, I want her to be good. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't saying like I'm gonna start paying her bills, because that ain't what we're talking about. But But I guarantee you this: if she got an issue, and I was talking about this the other day, if I'm really rocking with a chick and we've been talking for like, let's say 3 months or something like that, and her washing machine goes out and now she wants one that's $300. Hey man, if I'm rocking with her and I see her and I'm like, yeah, this is gonna be my woman. Hey, I got you, boo. It's $300. Let's go do that. You got a flat tire. I don't care if I've been talking to you for a month or 3 weeks or something. It's gonna be natural in me to want you to be safe. It just is. It's going to be natural for me to want you to be good and taken care of if I see you in that light and I'm investing my time in you. If it's not going to be that and I don't feel that way, then this ain't the chick that I should be trying to further a relationship with, in my opinion. So I think that it's a natural thing for your masculine men and your feminine woman, because a real feminine woman, man, when it's natural to her, she come by your place. I don't care if y'all been knowing each other 2 weeks. She see something out of place or something dirty, man, she gonna get over there. She gonna be like, man, what's up over here? She gonna do that. She gonna clean it. She gonna pick something up. She just gonna do it. And as a man, yeah, I think men do the same thing because of that willingness and that naturalness to want to help a woman that's looked at as weaker and more vulnerable than you as a man.
I definitely agree. Like I said, it would just depend on if I fool with her like that for real. Like, we're talking, we're going somewhere. Like I said, if he had a flat tire, first thing I'm going to do is try to, or if I can't get out there for whatever reason, hey, I got AAA. You need me to send AAA over to you, send you an Uber, things like that. I would definitely do. But if, I ain't fooling with her for real, yeah, hey.
Wait, Jay. Hold on, man. Hold on. So let's use the correct words.
Go ahead.
Not fooling with her for real. If you only taking her to Pound Town, now continue. That's what you mean. If you only taking her to Pound Town, listen, baby, catch the bus.
Well, as far as doing things for a woman or the woman that you're dating, those things always came natural to me because I always thought that that's what you were bringing to the table. Like the experience being a woman that I'm romantically interested in or kicking it with is going to provide you with benefits that other chicks don't, that are platonic or my buddies don't get. You know what I mean? Like, and so I think problem solving is one of those things. And even if I can't solve the problem, like I've always been a good talker. I can explain things that's even complex or long conversations. And I'm a reasonable, rational person. You know what I mean? Like, so I've always been able to talk women through scenarios, provide them with the male perspective on things. And when that's mixed with sexual chemistry and physical attraction, that's always going to be a positive vibe. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and man, listen, I don't know any masculine men that has a woman or somebody they really love or whatever the case, or like that don't like being depended on. You know what I'm saying? As a man, you like being depended on, like you said, Terry.
It can be frustrating.
It can be sometimes, but man, that is what men bring to the table. Like you said, hey, I always thought that was something we brought to it is. Because that's what women look to us for. That's why women look to us to be the leaders. They look to us to be the problem solvers when things happen. They don't want that because women emotionally become more stressed out, frustrated, start crying over something because they got a flat. And dudes be like, what are you? Baby, chill out. It's just a flat. I got it. That's what they look to us for. It's part of our value as men. Can
you imagine a dude reacting like that?
I can, and you know what? Hey, listen. I got a flex, and I guarantee you, the coochie gonna dry up like a sponge in Las Vegas. That coochie gonna be dry as soon as he do it. Like, so women like a man that problem solve. Go ahead, Jay.
Men want to feel needed in a situation when dealing with women, right? That's why when women say, "Hey, I'm independent. I don't need no man from a," the man that got himself together, got stuff going on. He's talking about, well, then why do I need to deal with you for when I go deal with that one over there?
Yep. Yep, because when they don't need you or feel like or they think, I don't need him, you know what they do, man? They get rid of you real quick. As soon as they tired of you, they ain't no fight in them because they don't feel no need for you. They don't feel like you're important to them like that. So there's no fight. That's one of the things that's a big complaint now, that there's no fight for relationships anymore. You know what I mean? No fight for marriage anymore. More women leaving these here marriages because they feel, hey, I don't really need you. So therefore you're easily replaceable. And that's something that smart men pay attention to when it comes to women. You know what I mean? If you say you don't need me, I gotta leave, babe. I do, because men love to feel needed when it comes to relationships. Otherwise, what I'm here for?
But that has to be coupled with appreciation. You know what I mean? Like,
Of course.
because a lot of the things that a man does or provides are invisible to the kids and the wife. You know what I mean? They're just things that he does when he's by himself, that he just has to do. Those are responsibilities, things that he just has to get done. And you know, as a man, you don't get a lot of pats on the back. We see the difference between Mother's Day and Father's Day. You know, Mother's Day is $3,000 jewelry, and Father's Day is cargo pants, 2 for $20. You know what I mean? Like, so, so, but those are not things that men that actually care about taking care of their people care about. Like, just the fact that you know that you're able to make sure we all good. And on top of that, I think one of the biggest things as a husband, or I feel makes me a good husband, is preparing for when you're not here. How you set things up for when you're not here. How is your family gonna be taken care of after you pass? I think that's real important. You know, we older now, so with me being 45, that's something that's really important to me. How are my wife and daughter set up if something happened to me tomorrow? So
Yeah. You know what? I think men want to feel needed by their woman because of what we bring or supposed to bring into the relationship. And I think women want to feel wanted by their man. Women don't want to feel really needed like that by a man, I don't think.
Desire.
Because it makes them looks weak. I think when he feel like he need this here woman, or it makes her feel that way. I think she wants to feel wanted and desired more than anything, because he can have all these other women, but he wants you.
You know what? I see where you're going with that.
My wheels are turning.
Women don't want the man that's emotionally codependent upon her, right? Like where his world revolves, his life and his world revolves around it. Where he'd be like, "Oh, that's my baby, that's my world."
No,
right? Like, women don't want that guy.
No, they'll use him though if he got money.
It just makes him look weak when you do that.
Or they don't want the guys that are not that lack the emotional control, that can't handle crisis situations. A lot of the keeping the family grounded, especially in harsh times or crisis, that usually falls on the man. That comes under that realm of protection, because you're going to have some unforeseen circumstances as a man, and how you handle them can change how your children or your wife respect you or view you going forward. You know what I mean? It's not necessarily fair, but unexpected stuff happens. You know what I'm saying? And you usually see the truest version of a person in a crisis. You know what I mean? Like the people that are really got it together and reliable, that's really when they shine the most or come through the most. Man, this has been an interesting conversation, but it looks like we are up against the clock. We about to get up out of here, but before we go, I want to give another shout out to my man Brother Soul Productions for keeping us laced with our background music. I want to remind y'all to continue supporting the podcast through our Cash App and our PayPal. JSD, man, I appreciate y'all linking up so we can get this episode knocked out. This has been another episode of the Ho to Husband podcast, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.